right. Well, we also have another major story. This has got to be one of the biggest stories of the day, honestly. The San Antonio Spurs have announced that Victor Wembanyama is shut down for the season after getting diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis. And basically, in layman's terms, it comes out to a basically blood clot in his right shoulder. This is extremely serious for this young man, and it is an absolute shame because Victor Wembanyama is just kind of coming to his own. He's only in the second year, just getting off the All-Star. It is an absolute shame. Mr. BC, what's your thoughts on this, man? You got to feel bad for him.
No, it sucks. It's horrible. Like, this is something we talked about before the show. This is career threatening right here, life threatening potentially as well. What happened to Chris Bosh, and to see it happen to somebody whose career is just starting and it's had so much potential. Like, I hate it. This is a guy that was supposed to be the face of the league along with Luka, for the next like 10, 15 years. And now potentially he could have it all taken away from him like that. It's not fair. It's really not.
Yeah. So most of the time, what happens in this situation, it's life-threatening in the aspect that anything can happen. But most of the time, what happens is they'll put you on some sort of blood thinner. The problem with that is that when you're on these blood thinners, athletes any kind of people cannot really have any kind of bodily contact as far as any kind of roughhousing, something along those lines, because your blood is so thin. If you get cut, you get hit, you get hurt, you're gonna bleed out. And so this is absolutely a devastating blow to him, and they're going to really have to try to figure out what they're going to be able to do. Like you already mentioned too, as well, Chris Bosh. This is kind of what derailed him. Now, he was a little bit older when this happened, so Bosh was slightly on the way out. But having said that, though, you don't want to see it in like that off a player that was, such a great player. Real quick before I go to you, Mr. G, Mike, as we are live right now, USA Canada, the hockey series is going on right now. USA just tied it up 1-1. So
USA.
All right, so Mr. G, Mike, man, what's your thoughts on this Wembanyama story, man? This is wild.
Oh, you walking hockey, eh?
Oh yeah, eh?
Oh man, bro, I really feel bad for him, bro. Like, you don't want to see, especially a young star talent like this, have a career-threatening injury like this. There's still hope for him. They're gonna set him out for the rest of the season, so he's gonna be able to rest and obviously get more tests done. See his shoulder getting looked at and all that stuff. But just for the future, man, you don't want this to happen to anybody. It could be an NBA player, it could be a regular person on the street, it could be whoever. You don't want to see that happen to anybody, especially when they're very active in their life, and then you tell them, "Yo, now you can't be active no more because of this, and that." That is really like, it messes up with your mind, bro. Like I wouldn't imagine if someone told me, "Yo, you can't play basketball, you can't play football, you can't do any sports, you can't lift no more because of something." Like that would be like very detrimental. I think that could cause a lot of depression as well. But hopefully, it's just a little setback for this year, and then he comes back in October stronger.
Yeah,
he's able to play, man, and able to move down the line. And just to take it to the team's aspect, it's gonna suck for the Spurs. I mean, they were trying to make a little play-in push going into the playoffs with trading for De'Aaron Fox. They were looking pretty good before the NBA All-Star break, and now this is just gonna set them back. But I would say, Fox, dude, you have a messed up thumb. I think now is the time to get that surgery, brother, because you're losing your all-star center, and it's gonna be detrimental to your team. I don't think you guys are gonna win a lot of games. So I would say shut it down, get that surgery that you need to get, and move on to the next season, man. And then for the Spurs, man, try to get a lottery pick, try to get some trades, try to get some draft picks. I don't know, but it sucks on both sides. It sucks for Wemby, man, and it sucks for San Antonio.
It's such a shame too, because last week we were just talking about how, man, I think they made, or I'm sorry, George and I were talking about it, how well we think this is going to work out for the Spurs. This is the best trade of the trade deadline. I think this is going to be the way of the future. They're going to be winning some championships, and you get something like that. And I feel really bad, and you never want this to happen to anybody, but it sucks for Wembanyama, because Wembanyama was already only, 20 years old, maybe 21 at the max. already getting the reputation of being a hard worker. He goes to bed at 7:30 at night. He reads books. He only wants to ball, and he wants nothing to do with the limelight. And he was doing everything right that you want in a young superstar. It's going to be the face of the franchise, and something like this that could possibly derail him. You just have to feel bad for the guy, and it just stinks that it's the one guy that really does seem like he's trying to do it right, and something like this happens, man.
Yeah, it's. Oh, I was just saying, and it's not fair. You know, if there's that one guy that you want to see that you feel like kind of deserves to be the face of the league, and it just kind of it gets taken from him like that.
Yeah.
It's not right. But again, you know, like we talked about, and I will say this: for as much as I think us and maybe even some like older NBA fans, like they might talk about how, oh, you know, load management, the league is soft, and this and that. I will say that this is a good thing that they were able to catch something like this, because maybe in older times they would have said, oh, just play through it or whatever. They wouldn't have even probably found this back in the 90s or 80s. So it's a good thing. This is the one time where I'll say, you know what? It's good that he's shutting down early. Take care of your health. Get yourself right. If you can get well enough for next year, go for it. If not, take the time you need. Get yourself right, because nobody wants to see a life cut. You know, as tragic as it would to see a career cut short by something like this, what's worse is to see a life lost because of something like this. So, you know, I hope he's able to get all the medical attention he needs as far as to take care of this issue. And like we said, he comes back stronger next year, dominates, tears it up, and he just gets right back to where he left off.
Yeah, unfortunately for him too, he is now ineligible for the Defensive Player of the Year, which he was a strong candidate for. I guess the story was that after the All-Star game, he went back to San Antonio and was saying something that he felt kind of funny. He just, you know, like you were saying, BC, they took it serious and actually, you know, paid attention to what was going on. And that's how they diagnosed him with what was going on. So good call on the Spurs for actually paying attention to listen to your players. Just such a shame for Victor Wembanyama that he's going to be shut down for the season. And hopefully he's able to figure it out, whatever they got to do to get him to be able to get back on the court, because life is way more important than that, obviously.
I know we saved this stuff for, you know, like kind of final thoughts for the end of the show, but I will say, folks, if there's any time you're feeling a little funny, feeling a little off, get yourself checked out. Like take anything, even something that might seem slight, take it seriously, because you never know what could be going on, and just your health and wellness, it should come first and foremost in life.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well said, man.